What's good, boys and girls? Welcome to the UFC Mexico City best bet video. I just want to get straight into this, so let's roll the tape. First play on the UFC main event, Bet365 is giving us a little bit of a blessing here, in my opinion. Moreno versus Royval. They have the significant strike line for Moreno at 78.5. Now, I understand why. Moreno is putting on the greatest fight run he's ever had, probably the greatest fight run in the flyweight division, putting on absolute wars that last extremely long periods of times. He's been able to go over that number. But when you take a look at the Royval side, Royval opponents haven't landed 78.5 significant strikes in 6 of his 7 UFC bouts total. Big red flag in this one is that the only fight that did go over was a 5-round bout. This is obviously a 5-round fight, but that was against Alexander Pantoja, and Pantoja only got around 90.5. I think these two, if they're going to get the significant strikes off, somebody's going to get finished. We forget Royval's career earlier on was all finishes, so we have that way out. And then if this fight does feature some wall points, 78.5 significant strikes is a ton of significant strikes for a set line, especially a fight that I think that could be finished. So I went under 78.5 on Brandon Moreno. If this fight's finished, I don't think they'll get to that number, and Pantoja landed 95 significant strikes, so broke that 78 number. This one, if Moreno continues to put on all-time fights, especially against a striker like Royval that has some power, Moreno has power too, and this fight doesn't get finished, which would surprise me a little bit, then we lick our wounds and we move on. But I paired that with Daniel Zellhuber. Everybody knows when it comes to these first-round significant strike lines, if it's over 28, if there's like between 28 and 40, that's going to be probably an automatic under for me. Now, Zellhuber is a unique case in this situation because in 2 of his 4 fights, he did go over. One of those was on a Contender Series performance, then he did against Lando Venata. But again, he's fighting a very, very tough Francisco Parado fighter who can knock people unconscious. So I'm hoping there's going to be some lull points. I have the same thought process as behind the Ian Gary pick against Jeff Neal. That went under very, very easily. And I think that he's going to go under 30 in this one as well. So I'm taking it under on Daniel Zellhuber at 29.5 first round significant strikes, parlaying those together with the Moreno, and that is going to get you at plus 236. I'm going to do about 0.75 of a unit on that, plus 236. I love the odds. And then there's the pick I made from my YouTube video. I took Luis Rodriguez when he was an underdog. I think I got him at minus 102, just around that plus number. I was really trying to get him at plus 100, but I just needed a little more time to research, so I got him at minus 102. Very, very happy about that. And then I also took Manuel Torres versus Christian Duncan. I didn't post a video. I was going to, but then it got to Thursday. I post a video. I'm going to get 10 views. Fucking waste my time. Chris Duncan versus Manuel Torres. I'm taking Manuel Torres, and I got him at a beautiful minus 158. At minus 196, I don't know about that number. Chris Duncan trains with great guys. He trains with wrestlers. He trains with Grant Dawson, a lot of good wrestlers, and he has a right-hand bomb. So there are some weapons for Chris Duncan to get this done, and honestly, as the line flips, I'm debating hedging a little bit. I'll be watching this fight very, very closely. But Manuel Torres is on one of those runs that I don't see stopping just yet. He's knocking people unconscious. If he gets finished, if he loses this fight here, it's going to be a pretty significant fraud check for me because he does have holes in his game that somebody's going to take advantage of at some point. But in this fight, I think Torres is probably going to get it done in the first round. Duncan has shown that he can get rocked in fights. Chris Duncan, I really think, is going to have to engage in the wrestling if he wants to get the win here, which who knows how much Manuel Torres is going to do to stop that. Manuel Torres' 2 losses, both to heel hook and a knee bar, so both leg submissions. I don't know if Chris Duncan has that in his bag, but Chris Duncan would be best to hold Manuel Torres down because the way Torres has been fucking lighting lamps recently is ridiculous. I'm going to bet on the back of somebody on a hot run like that. I took Manuel Torres at minus 158 with 1 unit, and I love that pick. And then for the PFL event, I have one play right now. I'm going to do some research today and tomorrow for the PFL event. It's in the afternoon tomorrow, so I got to post all those picks tonight. They'll be on my Twitter, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled, keep looking at that Twitter. But the only pick I played, again, I don't know if there's value in it anymore. Renan Ferreira, I got him at plus 118 on FanDuel, which was, I put a unit on that. He has now flipped to around minus 110. It's really a pick'em fight now. Renan Ferreira, younger, taller. Bader's at the end of it. He's got to be at the end of his career. He's fighting up a weight class. Not really anymore. He's used to heavyweight, but he's used to heavyweight in Bellator. PFL heavyweight. This guy's a legit heavyweight. 6'4", beat the likes of Fabricio Verdum. I love the pick on Renan Ferreira. I would honestly still probably play him at minus 110 against Bader. The winner of that fight is going to fight Francis, which is exciting as hell. But those are my bets for the weekend. Make sure you keep it peeled to my Twitter. If any other plays come out, they're going to be posted there. And then let me give you guys my rundown of who I think is going to win. First fight, Mohamed Naimov, got him. Felipe Dos Santos. This one I wanted to make a play on. He's minus 300. I don't know why. He's got ridiculous levels of output. I do like Felipe Dos Santos in this fight, but Victor is going to keep this fight awesome. This is going to be a great flyweight bout here. I got Luis Rodriguez, obviously have a bet on him. Then I'm thinking Claudio Puelles is going to get a win here. He's an underdog, but I do like the way his performances, they're hit or miss sometimes, but his submission skills, his stand-up skills, I think Claudio probably gets it done in the spot. Edgar Chairez, obviously, he beat this guy already once. They're running it back again. I don't know if there's really any change to why that result would differ, so stick with Edgar Chairez. Then I got Mateus Mendonça against Jesus Aguilar. I think Mateus is a savage. Lock me in on him. I really got a lot of favorites on this card. I basically have every single favorite going on from there. I don't really have any other underdogs I really like. Ricky from The Ultimate Fighter, maybe good potential there. He's fighting Osas Jr., who is who's going to be promoted to the nines on this card, but I gotta say, this is a UFC fight night right here. They did a damn good job. It's these cards where they go away from the apex that they really stack up. I really like this card. And then a little bonus play on Prize Picks. I got Dennis Bondar against Luis Rodriguez. I have a bet on Luis Rodriguez, but to hedge that a little bit, Dennis Bondar to get over 54.5 significant strikes. I don't think Luis Rodriguez is gonna end this fight. I think it's gonna be a close 29-28. I don't like Bondar's background, and we got Rodriguez at plus money somehow, but I do like Dennis Bondar to get some strikes in here, 3 rounds. And Luis Rodriguez, he loves to hit or be hit, so 54.5, I went over on that. And then I also took the over on Felipe Dos Santos's fantasy score. Now, if you don't know fantasy score rules, breaking down here, 0.6 for significant strikes, and then everything is weighted differently, and a win depending on what round or if it's by decision is also there. Felipe is at 85. If this goes all 3 rounds, I think the way Felipe fights, it's going to be a stand-up, bang-out war. And if the fight ends earlier, then you get those extra points. I do love his fantasy score. That parlay's up on here. 20 bucks pays 60. I love the way Prize Picks works. I like the style of over-unders on props. You stack them all up. The more you add, the more you pay out. Prize Picks lineup. And that'll do it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, remember, smash that like button. Subscribe to Combat Sports Central. We'll recap this event after. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace.